And I think then we're ready to go. So the first card we're going to do here uses a stamp set that's been around for a little while. It's called Poinsettia Petals.
Is that the one you used last year with those pink ones, the long cards?
Yes, same stamp set. Okay. And it's still current. So that is it. And I'm writing it. That is the Merry Christmas. And I stamped the big flower, this one here, on the envelope. And I also stamped it on the corner inside. And this May Magic and Wonder Bloom this holiday is also in the set. So everything is in that set along with the poinsettia dies. All right, so the first thing we have is a piece of watercolor paper that I've done a watercolor wash on for you. I could magically show you how it's done, but basically you just dip your aqua painter into your ink and you wet your watercolor paper. You spritz it, or I actually dipped it right in the water and got it nice and wet and shook off the excess. And then just took the aqua painter and painted some balmy blue on there. And it's going to curl up and crinkle and whatnot until it dries. So you got to put it aside till it dries. And then to get all the crinkles and stuff out, I ran it through the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. So it still looks like watercolor paper, but it is that texture from the embossing folder. So that goes on the front layer. And you can decide which side of that paper you want. Some of it runs through because I literally do soak the paper pretty good. And with embossing, I'm doing this to make it quick, but with embossing, you probably want to use liquid glue to glue this down, and anything that gets glued to it should also probably use liquid glue.
Well, the watercolor paper's thicker.
Yeah, but the embossing for some reason doesn't give it a good paper to paper contact. All right, and then in your kit, you will have, let's see how bad I am at making this kit. There should be a, I'll have to go back through that and make some. You'll have a stitched rectangle that I made with the Ornate Layers dies. And I used this one here. Ooh. If you don't have this, you can use the stitched rectangles, cut it down, and then put your stitched edge against the edge you cut and make a stitched looking edge to fit that spot. But you're going to get one in your kit if I can ever find it. That die fits right across here. And you cut that. I don't think I need to do that for you. I think you can figure that out. You stamp Merry Christmas on some paper and cut it out with the die and put it on the front. If you don't want to use the stitched rectangle, you can use a banner, or you can make a flag, or just plain and sponge around the edge. All right. I did, however, cut out the flowers for you. And these are two of the largest flowers. And when I say I cut them out, I used both the outline shape and the inside piece. This inside piece embosses as well as the outside piece cutting out. So a good idea if you have these is to mark one leaf on both the leaf embossing piece and the die so that you can match them up easily. You need 2 big flowers, 1 medium flower, poinsettia, and 2 little ones.
And they are embossed.
They are embossed already. When I cut them out, I already embossed them. And you'll need, from the same set, there is a little die that looks like that. I have 3 of those. And on the same thing with the leaves also cut and emboss at the same time. There's 2, or you need 2 larger ones and 1 small one. And they're not much smaller, so if you mess up, it's not a big deal. So what I did, when I copied this from the lady, she used that shimmer paint that we had used for another project, but I'm going to show you how it came out. It looked like
Ooh.
so. So if you like the use of the shimmer paint, to me it looked like it was too forced on there. It didn't look natural. So
Well,
on this one,
blue poinsettias don't look natural anyways.
yeah, but this one I used just white, our white opaque paint, and then there's Wink of Stella on there, so it does sparkle. I'm trying to get it to sparkle. Not real evident, but up close and personal, it looks real nice. So you can decide. You would sponge this on. I had difficulty sponging because you have to push one petal up out of the way. And let me try to show you how I did that. Somewhere around here, I put a sponge dauber. Yes. So you can use your basic white Stampin' Up pad too. This was an older Stampin' Up pad that before they made their own, they sent the Memento brand or Stays On brand. So you kind of gotta, let's see, there we go. And I just kind of went around, and because it's so hard to kind of handle, I put it on the paper. It does need some. All right. So we'll try this again. All right, so you do the whole stack of them that way. Now, when I use the, to make it with the shimmer paint, I used a brush, a small kids water painting brush, and just kind of painted the edges on there. But you could also make a little puddle in something and sponge it on as well. And then after I did this, I took there we go. Sort of like that. And I literally just, you can go in the veins with the Wink of Stella too. That'd probably be enough darkening up on its own just with the Wink of Stella on the veins. So you do that to all of them, and then you're just going to glue them together staggered like so. And you can kind of curl the leaves back a little, or some of them up a little. I curl them back, and then when you push them down in the front, the leaves have a little bit of a depth to them. So you're going to glue those all together, and then there's a rhinestone to put in the center. Up one big one. The big rhinestone goes on the flower. The other two are for you to place in various places of interest on the front of the card. I took these and just put some glue on the back and stuck them underneath from the back side. One there, one kind of, goodness. There. Would have been easier to. This one has so many pieces. I didn't want to take the time to stick them all. And then one kind of up here. And you'll already have your sentiment on the front of the card, so you'll know where you can place them. I'm going to tell you all the wrong stuff. Tell you all the wrong things first. Not too many things this weekend. I'm off kilter. There'll be a this blue snowflakey ribbon. And it's got little tiny rhinestones in the center of each of the snowflakes. Really pretty ribbon. It's not Stampin' Up ribbon. It's something I got at Joann's or Pecketan's when they were in business, and I've had it around for a while. So there's a piece of that in, and you just glue that to the front of the card first. Then put your flower on top and all its pieces. You can glue this together and put it down in one piece. And then I sponged around the edges of these with balmy blue. Which I hid behind the laptop. Simple. Just to give them a little definition, so when you put them against that background, they still show up. Stick, let's see, I got one kind of going this way. The little one I think that's where I put the little one, but experiment, see where you like them best. They're quiet. Over here. All right. So that would be the front of the card then, with its rhinestone in the center and its finished label down there. And then on the inside of the card, I took this piece here and I have it set up in Misty. I can't believe I did that. I flipped the whole thing. I said Misty, but this is the Stamparatus. I got a couple orders for these when I showed the ladies how to do them Saturday at the craft show. They liked that idea for their scrapbooking. Get it inky. My R doesn't want to wonder. I need some wonder. Yeah. There. I Okay, so that's the inside of the card. And then just for fun, I took the envelope. And on this one, you got to find the place on the envelope that's not going to be in the way of the address and such. And I just kind of laid it on there. I can tell where it's going to be because there's an image on my paper that was below the stamp.
We can't see where you're stamping though.
Oh, sorry. So I had the image, you could tell where the image was from previous stamping. So I just kind of lined up that envelope so that it would get its image on there. There we go. Right. So that is the first card. Questions?
I like stamping the envelope.
I do too.
I do too.
Nice touch.
All righty. So let's get this monster out of the way, and I will have to make sure I make those labels for these kits before they go out. The next card is this Snowflake Gatefold card. This is using the brightly gleaming designer series paper, which is, there we go. Last year's designer series paper for Christmas. It's just beautiful paper. I'm glad I was able to use it for something. I put it on with very vanilla cardstock. This is a stitched nested labels die. And I have one in very vanilla and one in pretty peacock. And then this, you will have this piece in the middle. This is the stitched snowflakes from the gingerbread suite. So you'll have one of those on there. And this is a larger label. I think the larger label looked nicer. So this is the brightly gleaming paper. There's a silver base background. And then I also stamped a snowflake from, now I'm going to be put to the test. Merry Snowflakes.
I've got a lot of snowflake sets.
Okay, yeah. Doesn't matter which one. The greeting was nice in here, and it's may the happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season. So, show you how I can zoom in here. Zoom back up. Learn something
Say
new
that
every day.
sentiment was in the snowflake, the Merry Snowflakes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
And there is matching dies to that. This snowflake is the wonderful snowflakes that come in that sheet of snowflakes. So it's already cut out for you. One side is like a holographic kind of piece. It's in here with your kit. Comes 12 in a sheet. I mean, 24 snowflakes in a package, all cut out for you. But that snowflake I used last week on last week's card could be used on the front of here as well. All right, so being that it's a gatefold card, I could have just left that one open, but you know. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8. And then I turn it around and do it at 2 1/8 again, just because it's easier than trying to remember how far over that is. And then when you go to fold this, fold one side down and use your bone folder and make a good crease. And then take the edges of this one, and before you crease it down, match it up real good. Get it nice and square with the center, and then give it a crease. In fact, if you only want to score one side of it, that'll work too. And you can just fold over the other side into that and butt it right up against that center. And then you'll always have your center lined up, whether it's actually in line or not. So this is pretty simple stuff here. I want to take and we're going to stamp first. Side. I like the Misty for this because I can put a whole card base in there. Use Pretty Peacock when I find it. Had these all out at a craft show and have not quite got them put away where they belong yet. And we're inking up the stamps. Pretty good.
Mhm.
You can also use that snowflake on your envelope if you like. Probably be a good idea.
Could see reflection in the silver paper.
Pardon?
I could see your reflection in the silver paper.
It's a good thing and we're going to cover that up. You have tiny little borders around the first layer and then larger border for the next layer. There's a lot of glare in the camera with this paper. And then these two on top of those. The back sides of this sparkly paper is just plain. It's not sparkly. It's not plain. It's got a nice pattern on it, but it's not embossed.
But these are beautiful papers.
I think I may have
I
ordered
think I
them.
bought 2 packs and haven't cut into any of them because I didn't want to because they're so pretty,
I think I did too.
which is silly, but
Well, I finally said, what am I saving it for? Because
yeah, I know.
a lot of stuff getting saved over here. I'm really working on it. I sold a lot of stuff, so
Pretty paper on the back.
I can use the money to buy some more stuff.
That you can save, yeah.
Alrighty. And then the front is just these 2 labels and 2 snowflakes. You can see the iridescence to that snowflake. Is that showing up or not?
No.
No. It's shiny on one side and sort of like holographic. It's got that opalescent look. Here's one thing I did buy at the craft show the other day. This is it does fit your Tombow glue, and you can set it on the table, and you're supposed to be able to get every drop of Tombow out of it now. And I'll believe that when I see it. But it fits the Tombow glue bottle perfectly. And to its credit, it did work the first time. Center that side to side and top to bottom. Yeah. Now, come on. There we go. And then I just put a little glue in the center, and then I went put a little glue in the center on the back side, and then I also went up this major point. I would suggest using a paintbrush for this. And when you're done with your paintbrush, if you put it in a little water and leave it sit, it will dissolve the glue right off of it, and then you'll be good to go as a paintbrush again. Okay. Center. And this in the center of that. Isn't that a cute? Looks like a sheriff's badge to me. Oops, it's got a pokey still stuck in the middle. Not a big deal, but there. And then I just put fingers. I just put some glue on each of the little larger sections here. And line that up with the snowflake. All right, in the center. Okay. And then I put glue on the, when you're holding it this way, it's on the right half. When you're holding it upside down, but it's actually the left half of the label. And I'll have to stick that back on. It wasn't done, it wasn't dry yet. And we're gonna put this point in the crack and that point in the crack. Back on there. Okay. And there you go.
Pretty.
It's pretty. Simple and elegant.
Yeah. The paper does it all on this one. Okay, so that's card number 2.
What color the ink was?
pretty peacock.
Peacock, right? Okay.
All right. Then this one, I'm pretty excited about. I think it's really nice. This is, I made you each a squarish label. It actually, or envelope, it actually measures 4 3/4 by 4.5. So technically it's not square and should not require extra postage. But which we shall see. Anyway, this is using the Great Tidings stamp set. It says wise men still seek him. I embossed that in gold on the front of that belly band. And then you just slide it off. And then this card features the Expressions in Ink designer series paper with the gold lacing going through it. I just thought it looked pretty regal. And there we go. There's the 3 kings. Tidings of Great Joy is also in the stamp set. This little picture of the golden frankincense and myrrh is in there. The star is here. I put the star so close to the top of the paper that I could not get it to stamp correctly. So I took my green glitter pen and put it in the center with the green glitter pen. So my little star kind of shines a little bit. There it is. There. Got a hint of glitter on it. Okay, so you start out with a 11" by 4 1/4. So that's a regular sheet cut the long way. And it is scored at 2 3/4 at 5, 6, 8, and 9. And these little white pieces are cut at, the small ones out of the designer series paper are cut at 1 3/4 by 4. And let me get a piece of that paper to show you how I managed to cut it and save the most. Be able to find it. Well, not where I want it. Anyway, there's the color on this sheet of paper runs through the middle of the card of the designer series paper. So I cut the designer series paper in half, and that made them enough to do 4 of these pieces on each. Well, more than 4. I don't remember how many. Anyway, you're going to cut off the excess in the white area of that paper rather than in the colored area of the paper. And then you'll have enough left for this piece on the outside from another piece of the paper in the pack, which has no white. And that piece measures 2 3/4 by 4, as well as this white piece measures 2 3/4 by 4. See if I can actually get what I want going here. So
Please.
Have my Stamparatus here. And this is how I got all my wise men stamped. And every one of these cards is a little bit different because you're cutting in a different place on the designer series paper, and the pattern is. So we are going to stamp King number, let's see, which number is he? I think I put him as number 1. Yeah. And I put the magnet kind of there to hold, or you could put it down kind of here to hold. And I used black, Memento black. You might want to play around with this and see what it looks like embossed in gold. Not too sure how that would come out. He's not. Needs a little more inky down here. All right, there he is. Melchior, Balthazar, and who were they? The third one? Bible trivia.
Jasper.
How did I know you would know?
I don't know.
These I like to clean off when I have more than one setup on the plate. I like to clean the top off so I'm not getting ink all over my fingers when I turn it around. Oh, this guy's going to go this way. Ooh. Just going to get inked up. I think he could use a little bit more darkness. Good. And our last friend is here. This one is the one with the turban instead of the crown. Oops. It's stuck on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Then the last thing we have is the actual sentiment, which I stamped with shaded spruce. And this paper is shaded spruce as well. Might be evening evergreen. Those two are real close. you could, I would say they're interchangeable. Yeah, that one goes this way. White piece here. That's the one thing that's hard is when there's a stamp underneath the one that you're working on, it's hard to press down on it without pressing on the other guy. You see how my star came out with a hole in the middle? That's where I took and colored it before. Oh, I got it a little bit. Try one more time. I think my ink pad could use some re-inking here. That's better. My husband is still not home. Makes me wonder what happened at the doctor's office. All right. And if you want to get real fancy, you could color in all of those little guys there if you like. But as far as assembly, it kind of goes one after the other here. This one obviously goes on the first section. And this has got the 1/8 inch margin around it. And then I start with, I like to go this way, and I'll tell you why in a minute. One of these sections is a little bit wider than the others. That's the last one closest to the sentiment. So I like to see how it's going to play out as far as spacing goes to decide whether I want to put it even or offset. So there was no way to wind up with a square without making this one a little bit bigger. And so that's what the designer did. And so I think I'm going to put that centered in that piece. It's a little bit wider on each side, but it doesn't look awkward. But you could close the card too and see if you like how it looks closed that way. It would either be that way or this way. I think I like it that way because this guy in the middle's closed up on too. That. And I made the envelope with our envelope punch board. If anybody still has one from days gone by. I actually found mine. It was right where it was supposed to be, and that's why I couldn't find it. All right, so that's the inside. And then this flap just comes over like this. Now you can either have it, when you close the card, you can either have it go like this and have one full king showing, or you can have it going like this. And I kind of like it like this because I like the look of this paper on here. And you can decide which way you want that paper to go.
Can you slide it up a little bit, please? There we go. Thank you.
my paper moved. No wonder you can't see it. I better tape my paper down. And this just gets centered right in the front panel. Right. And now we get to make the belly band. And there's a piece of paper that I've folded already for you so that you can find the center where to stamp. And I stamped that with and I had that out until I got crazy and started moving stuff. There it is. This is the Versamark. And let's see if I can get that in the middle and straight. You could also mount this up in your, that's pretty good, in your Stamparatus. You want to make sure you get it in the middle. Sometimes it's worth it just to get it going there. Sprinkle some stuff on here a little bit. Embossing powder just for Melanie because I know she likes it. Well, not really. Don't let me lie to you.
I do. I love the
You like
embossing. I like the embossing powder, and I like this. What do you call this? Paper Expressions ink or something?
Yeah, expressions in ink.
It's nice.
I love it. It's still in the catalog, so it was had a hard time getting here, but then it finally came and then it didn't run out. They kept enough in stock. All right, it says wise men still seek you. Do it on the embossing here. There it goes. My W needs a little more. There.
Just like magic. I love it.
Just like magic. So then you just take and I made it a little bit loose so that it would still be able to slide off. And you can either glue dot that or liquid glue that. And I'm going to liquid it. When you glue these together, it's important to make sure you got the band lined up square with itself so that you don't have it. The wise men going off track. Okay. And there you go. Okay.
The three wise guys.
So that's card number 3. Oops. Goes over here. A few of these pieces out of the way. I got extra, all kinds of extra stuff here. Then the last one, uh-oh, Carol Lee's here. She must have forgot to set her clock back. All righty. Hi, Carolee.
Hi, I don't see myself on there. Can you see me?
No, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, now what do we do here again?
I'm going to ask you to turn your video on. Let's
Turn the
see.
video on. Okay, would that be the camera?
Video. And they should be able to just click on that link and it should just open. Maybe?
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, we have one other we can't see either, but she's here and we can hear her. There should be you're on the iPad?
Yep.
Okay, green dot in the corner. Tap the green dot and there should be a menu that comes down that says start video or a picture of a camera.
I see an orange dot. That's not working. I don't see a green dot. I got a red dot, a green square.
Click on the red dot once.
Nothing.
Okay, that's just saying that the Zoom is being recorded. I don't know about a green square, but try it, see what happens. Can you see us?
I can see your picture, but it's in still time, and then I see your tabletop.
All right, that's really all you need, Carolee. I mean, because it might take me 15 minutes to try to figure out.
Yeah, no, that's okay. As long as it's okay that I'm not in the picture, I don't care. You don't want to see me my ugly looking face anyway.
No, stop that. That's not
true.
Okay, so this one, we're on the last card. Did you have trouble getting in or did you get the time wrong?
Maybe I did. I was thinking 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because I sent out an email and changed the time to 1 because the doctor canceled. I think I've sent everybody that message on my phone.
You probably sent it to me and I probably thought, okay, fine, and forgot it.
Yeah, so that's what happened there. So you'll have to watch the rerun for the first 3.
Okay, all righty.
Okay, so this last card is what they call a Joyfold card, perfect for Christmas. So it opens like this. And it says, may the sparkle of the season warm your heart and home. And then it opens like this, and that's the place that you would sign the card. All right, and behind it, I have this embossed with the Merry Notes embossing folder. The music on here is actually, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The actual notes actually, they actually put something that plays on there. All right.
And is anyone going to peel that off so they can figure that out?
No, because the rest of the song is over here somewhere. It got cut off. All right. And then this is a piece of 8.5 by 4 1/4. And it's scored at 3 inches. And then this is a piece of card out of the Memories and More that we have in the annual or Christmas catalog. This is the Christmas version of that. of the Memories and More cards. So it was just a piece I cut to fit right here because I thought it was bright and pretty, and but you could use any designer series paper you want. If you want to make it really glitzy, you can use some more of that sparkly stuff. And non-directional, so it doesn't matter which way you put it on there. And then the Merry Melody gets, and again, I think you probably want to use Tombow instead of tape runner on an embossed piece. And I'm doing tape runner for speed. And then this gets centered with our standard 1/8" border. And then this piece here is 9.5 by 2.5, and it's scored at 4 3/4. Somewhere in this kit should be my centerpiece. I'm not finding. Sometimes I take these things and set them places and they just take off on their own and I can just see where they are.
In a convenient place.
And I didn't cut it yet, so that's what the problem is. I'm a little behind this season. So,
Hey, guess what?
so is everybody else?
Yay, we got our video.
Oh,
I figured it out. I was looking at it and I finally figured it out. Hi, Lynn.
now, what did you do? Do you remember?
There's the block on the bottom with your face on it. It has a plus and a negative. I just had to hit the plus.
That's
Weird.
That's very weird that my face would do something so substantial. So exciting. All right, let me see. I got to find a scrap of paper so I can finish this card up for you. Yeah, it's not going to be the right size. Oh, there's, hang on. I won't go away. I'll just walk off and leave you guys. All right. And that's Whisper White, not White White. How about that? Close enough for demonstration purposes, but you want to use matching white paper. And I'll make sure you get matching white paper in your kit. All right, so for this inside piece, since this is 2.5, we're going to want to cut it at 2 1/4. And 1/4 by 4.5. Then, was in our last stamp apparatus. With the plate here. Now, how did I, oh, that's how I did it. And I used cherry cobbler. Which I said somewhere. Either that or I left it at the craft show. Tell you what, we're going to use green just because I can't find it. But I did stamp the inside with cherry cobbler. That's the color of the paper as well.
Makes it.
And your paper will be a little bit bigger because I know I had to fiddle around with that to get it to fit. All right, so that's going to go in there. And it'll have a smaller border so that the words are more centered and not looking like they're cut off. And then that gets glued right in the center of that. Side to side and top to bottom. And hopefully straight. That's not straight. Okay. And then on the outside, I have a piece that is cut with the Giving Thanks dies. And it looks like a snowflake window. And you will want to put just a couple little dots of glue every now and then in there, just to kind of hold the snowflake down so it doesn't catch on something. And there was one pop out that didn't pop out. Where was that? Oh, it must have popped out. It did. Okay, and then I centered this top and bottom side to side. Then I made you some stickers. The Merry Christmas, I applied our adhesive sheet to the back and run it through the big shots. So you just very carefully take off the backing. Some of these may have some of the backing already pulled off, so, but I put it on a piece of wax paper so that you don't lose that. So there's the Mary. And the Christmas has its little tiny little eye. See it? You'll have to somehow get the backing off of that. This one already has some of its backing missing, so I've got to find where it is. There it is. H and the C, everything else is already off. Yeah. Christmas. Take the eye. I can get that little tiny bit of sticker released. And 2 of those separated. And then pretty soon I just say, oh, the heck with it. And say I don't bother with it. But then sometimes it just comes off. So.
Dab of glue.
Yeah, but the problem is, see, it came off. It's on my finger now. The problem is when you put a dab of glue on there, it's liable to release from the paper. The glue will stick to the wax paper, but then it won't make the green stick. You know what I mean? So it's very possible you may lose the dot to your eye if you don't try to separate it. Oh, come on. There. And ta-da. Let's get it over the eye and not up over something else. There. Now it gets the glue. Hey, how tiny I can get here. Now glue and metallic paper, foil paper, don't do so good together. There. And I'm not even going to fiddle with it. I'm just going to leave it like that until it dries. Okay, so that's that. You can also use this after you cut it out. You can use that like a stencil. So that might look good on the front of the card. I just wonder. I have one over here. I wonder what that would look like. When I was experimenting as to how I was going to do it. Let's see where our envelope is at. Right. Now, it's a piece of washi tape. This is completely experimental. I have no idea how this is going to come out. I'll have to tape it over here because we're going to want to use the
Scoot it up.
design in process here. All right. And
Scoot it up into our viewing area.
yep, I will.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just going to and a brush. So be creative. You never know what works. And if it doesn't work, just get out a different envelope and put it in a plate envelope. All right, you ready for the big reveal?
Cute.
So maybe I should have got it a little closer to the edge. I don't know.
Looks fine.
Pretty though.
So that's just playing around.
Next time.
So there they are. That's it. That's all 4.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you. I should turn off the recording so that, boy, that doesn't even look green in my picture. That's the color it is. go to more. More.